Anderson can see this through.
3-2 up. Will those 4 missed darts at double come back to haunt Gary Anderson? Because talked about totally different darting dynamic on the game now. Massive leg now. Anderson needs a strong hold.
You look at that last leg before the break, Stuart. We mentioned everything else about that 4th leg, having the darts at the double, but he didn't do anything in that last leg before the break, allowing Terry to go in at 3-2. So you wonder whether the break came better for Terry or for Gary. We shall see. Lost his range. Frustration for the world champion. Jenkins is pouncing on it.
Yeah. Chris Mason made a good point, didn't he, during that little break for the players. Chris Dobie should have beaten Terry Jenkins 6-4, so Jenkins here is just playing with a free rein. And Gary Anderson, you know, psychologically he will know that he has a terrible record against Jenkins. He will also know that he's thrown away big leads against Jenkins. And Jenkins has now hit 180s in the last 3 legs. He was out of it. He was out of this match. Back in it now.
Incredible turnaround, it really is.
Not a murmur from the crowd at that maximum.
Yep, they've certainly gone quiet. They could be even quieter in a few minutes if Jenkins can take this leg.
64.
Well,
I think he's going downstairs because he's not found his range on the 20s, just to maybe change
94.
proceedings.
Teddy require 91.
Well, this is a miracle shot if he gets this.
49.
And Anderson needs this.
Difficult angle for Jenkins. 20 tops for Anderson. He has to get it.
58.
Oh, a long way off, Gary.
42.
So Terry Jenkins back to the board to incredibly level. And level it is. Could have been 4-0 down. Now it's 3-3.
Oh, Jenkins can't believe it. Anderson can't believe it. The crowd inside the arena in Glasgow can't believe it either. And it's amazing, isn't it? At the start of the game, Jenkins couldn't hit anything. He's hit 4 180s in 4 legs. And Anderson is in all sorts of bother, all sorts of trouble.
Well, he's got to get it back pretty quickly. Terry's looking good here to go 4-3 ahead, 4 legs on the trot. Still got to do it, obviously. Gary, yet big maximum scorer, as we know, hasn't yet hit one in the match. Needs one just to get him going. Plenty of room, and there it is, right on cue. That's walked the crowd up. His first maximum. Jenkins still scoring pretty heavy.
Tightening up. We saw it at the end of the European Championship final with Gary. Just lost a bit of range and rhythm, but he had the dart at tops, but it's the 3 darts at double 10 that he missed. He was so close with, and Jenkins here, totally different player.
Well, his thought process has changed completely. He was on a free roll, 3-0 up, everything was going in his way. Terry Jenkins couldn't hit anything, and the change around has been dramatic for loads of different reasons. But Terry is just doing his business. Gary needs to wake up.
94.
Let me just get this leg on the board and make advances in the next 2 or 3 legs. Take it one leg at a time. Don't think about winning the match. Just finding his focus, because once he finds his range, we all know what scoring he can produce.
Well, this wasn't in the script. Terry Jenkins is writing his own lines here.
43.
It's Terry Jenkins' turn to start missing the treble. 6 darts, yet to hit one in this leg. Despite those 4 maximums,
96.
in the previous 4 legs.
Let's be honest, we didn't see this coming. No one did. Not even sure Terry did until he got that let off.
Well, certainly not at 3-0 and almost 4. It just didn't look like it was going to happen. Almost the first one, but still a good scoring visit. That's the important thing. All he's got to concentrate on is winning the leg. And that may change his thought process of, right, come on, let's make a bigger move now.
But he knows he still has to break Terry Jenkins again. Leaves tops.
67.
We go to a deciding leg. Jenkins has the darts. It's a nervy, edgy world champion
60.
on home soil here in Glasgow.
Well, if he can take this, he'll feel a whole lot better. Well, yeah, giving himself a little bit of relief there and hitting double top. I enjoyed that one.
100.
Needs to make his move.
But again, that first dart dropping shy.
95.
Jenkins throwing first in this leg.
140.
He's making Anderson work very hard. Following him.
140.
He's starting to find his range again. Hoping to turn the screw on Terry Jenkins, but he's having none of it. Oh, the bull is having none of it. 1-2-1 left after 9.
He was lucky there, wasn't he?
Very lucky. If he'd have hit a single, he wouldn't have left a finish. Ball for ball! And ball hit by the bull! Fantastic finish from Terry Jenkins. Well, puts himself in prime position. The crowd can't believe it.
Well, at the moment it looks like we are heading for a decider.
79.
Anderson will be wondering how it's even got to this stage.
He's got to compose himself. His scoring is starting to return. Starting to find his range, just one leg at a time. Try and take this one into that last leg decider if it does go to the last leg. As we know, anything can happen. Slightly ahead. He's finding the range with his first dart now, which is good for the Anderson fans. Gives himself a straight ton.
Well, to force a decider. Double 19. Well, it's one way of taking out 100. We go to a deciding leg. Who can hold their nerves?
Slipped with the first one. Good second dart though from Terry Jenkins, and not a bad third one. Well, what a great visit that is when you're throwing first in a last leg decider. Certainly after hitting treble 1 with the first one.
91.
Gary hanging in there. You can see the look on his face as he hit that treble 17. Terry is not letting up on the scoring. Slipped with the last one. 2 good visits from the bull.
Beats Anderson regularly, and his favourite to beat Anderson again.
Anderson is just about hanging in there, but who's going to make the first slip? But it's not Jenkins. He's hitting 2 treble 20s with all 3 visits.
He shouldn't be in the tournament, but he's on the verge of the quarter-finals. Chris Dobie, Gary Anderson sponsors Chris Dobie. There's darts to beat him, 2 darts to beat him, 6-4. Jenkins here hoping to win it with a 12-darter.
78.
On the wire now. Gary Anderson has to put in something big here. It'll get the crowd going. It'll put the pressure on Jenkins. The nod from Anderson. He's thinking it's too late. He's hit the maximum, least 50, but Terry Jenkins holding in on double top. Double 10. One dart left. Oh, he's missed it. He can't believe it. Terry Jenkins has missed the double.
Well, astonishing. 4 match darts for Terry. Can Anderson pinch it on double 10?
Well, what can you say?
Well. Terry Jenkins has beaten the world champion. Gary Anderson beaten on home soil. They both had their chances, but how did Anderson lose that match from 3-0 up? Only he will know. But Terry Jenkins goes through to play Adrian Lewis in the quarter-finals. Drama to close day 1 in Glasgow.
Full tilt.
Incredible drama in Glasgow. The world champion and the home favourite is out. Gary Anderson beaten in the deciding leg by Terry Jenkins, who not only now has beaten the world champion, but also the world 107. Surprisingly, both 6-5. Well, Anderson there with the higher average, but not the stat that counts, of course. 4 180s for Jenkins, and he was just higher on the average 33% checkout. What a match that was, and the key moment, we talked about it earlier before the break, about how that would make a difference, missing his darts at doubles to make it 4-0. Instead, it was 3-1, and Jenkins has prevailed, and he's now talking to Ned Bolting.
He is indeed, Jackie, and the only man who played this afternoon still to be in the tournament, and Gary's the only seed to have dropped out, and you've done the damage. 3-0 down, with all of Scotland against you, the flower of Scotland ringing around the hall. How on earth did you manage to turn that round?
I don't know, it was tough. It was the crowd that, I said before I got up there, I knew the crowd were all going to be on me back. And it is hard. It's easy to say, oh, you'll cope with it, but when you get up there and you're actually in front of all those, it's very hard. But I thought if I can start scoring, I know I can make Gary try a little bit. And I hit a few ton 80s at the right time. I was 3-0 down and put 4 good legs on the trot-in. So.
And time again you see it in darts, don't you, Terry? As you raised your game, then Gary, little bits of self-doubt come into his game, and it is sometimes a feature of Gary's game that he can get plagued with those moments, and you just exploited that, didn't you?
That's right, yeah, and I could see he started struggling, and I thought, make sure you hit something now, make sure you just keep scoring more than he did. And I kept going into that treble 1, and it was tough, and I mean, that last leg, when they started booing, that was really hard. I thought I'd cope with it easy, but I thought it'd make me hit it. But I bottled it in the 3 darts when I went for double top and double 10.
Well, he allowed you back, didn't he, in the end? But I mean, like you say, when they're booing you, Terry, you're not a player who gets that very often. You're generally speaking, you're not a pantomime villain. You don't get that kind of treatment too often. So you really encountered it tonight, didn't you? And it shook you a bit.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But I expected it. I knew I was going to get that before I went up there. But no, I expect it as well. I mean, Gary's the local bloke, and they should support him. But it's when you don't expect it that it's hard work. But that was really hard. I thought I knew what to expect tonight, but it was still really hard work.
Jackpot first up tomorrow. Fancy that?
Yeah, I hope they all boo him and not me.
You've had your fair share today.
I think so, yeah. I think I've had my fair share for the year now.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, it was a close result. Fantastic drama at the end, and well done.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
How can you boo